What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the D.O.G podcast. As always, I'm Drew with OC and German. And today we got 2 weeks of football to briefly talk about.
Slightly.
We took a little bit of a vacation because we went off and did things during the holidays, and German got sick. So
And Drew wants to spend more time with his lady than he does with us. So
I think
Drew. We want to talk about ladies. This guy right here.
I think Drew was just trying
guy.
to avoid the whole Dolphin and Cowboy fiasco.
I think he was. I was honestly trying to avoid the whole Niners versus Ravens fiasco.
Let's talk
I was
about
going
it.
to take the heat.
Go ahead.
You want to take the heat?
You start first. Go ahead.
No, you can't turn the ball over 5 times and expect to win a game. Bottom line. That's
Really?
it. Yeah.
Things
It's funny how things work
obvious.
out, right?
Yeah.
That's it. That's what happened.
Are you going to sit here and tell me that those weren't all Brock Purdy's fault?
No, the first one for sure.
Mm-hmm.
100%. I think the second one was, and he was like getting kind of reckless, where I think it was like an RPO, right? Where he
Mhm.
could have handed the ball off, but he decided to keep it and then toss it, got batted up. Bad luck. Okay, whatever. And then the other two, I think were just weird timing. Or I think the third one, he tried to make a play and it like ricocheted off of Kittle, right? Then that one went up in the air. And then the last one was just, okay, whatever. He got hit.
It was a lot of those interceptions reminded me of Dak Prescott last year. A lot of unfortunate
It was
bounces and then trying to force a little bit too much.
It was unlucky. The first one could have been a touchdown had he timed it a little bit better, but it was just, I mean, the Ravens showed up to play. Their defense showed out.
Did that game bring any doubt into your mind at all about the capabilities of the San Francisco 49ers?
No, because they were still able to move the ball.
Mhm.
I mean, we all saw it.
I do remember you saying how AFC quarterbacks tend to play well
In Santa Clara.
In Santa
They
Clara.
always come up and then they just go
That
off
was
on
like
us.
your one doubt. You're like, I think the Niners can win, but for some reason AFC quarterbacks
They always come into Santa Clara and then just murk us.
They're
And
like,
then just
oh.
know how to, and they just make our defense look like a high school defense. Dude.
Oh,
Just
great
picking us
weather.
apart.
It's not freezing cold out here. This is awesome.
And then they go off. That's what's so crazy to me. But
Mm-hmm.
then Lamar, he did the same thing the week after.
Yeah,
he
he
went
did.
off
He-
against Miami.
he did.
You want to talk about that
You
one?
want to talk about it? Go ahead. Talk
Yeah,
about it.
hold on. Let's just talk about how their defense looked like Swiss cheese. And by the way, if you guys didn't see, Bradley Chubb tore his ACL
I
down.
did see that.
Down 30 points in the
Miami's
fourth
dealing
quarter.
with some injuries right now.
They've
really
they've
unfortunate.
lost 3 starters: Connor Williams, Jalen Phillips, and now Bradley Chubb. 3 guys in the span of like the last 6 weeks?
Yeah.
It's like one every other week. It's
Yeah,
just,
not cool.
That's tough.
and
Especially going into the playoffs.
yeah, going into the playoffs, and not only that, the 2 seeds on the line Sunday night against the Bills, and
It's
you
another
don't
game
have
we're
your
going to get to later on.
you don't have your
Mhm.
2 best pass rushers. But let me not skip over the fact that Miami beat Dallas. If we're gonna skip back a couple
We're
weeks.
just going to
couple
jump
weeks,
jump
yeah.
back and forth.
I was waiting patiently to let Drew and all the Cowboys fans, feel the wrath, and I had fun on social media and clowning everybody.
He says wait patiently, but the second the game was over, I had to hop onto social media. I didn't even text him. I was like, let me just. I know he's on Twitter talking about it, and there he is, just going in. And then let me hop on Instagram, and then there he is,
There he is.
tagging me on Instagram. I was
That
like,
picture
oh,
you put up on
appreciate
your
it.
story was pretty
Appreciate
awesome.
that,
I'm
dog.
gonna put it into the episode. It's gonna
I had
squeeze.
to,
its way
man.
in
Wait,
there.
what did it say again? Remind me.
which
It
one?
was like we ain't them boys.
Oh,
or
We Ain't Them
whatever.
Boys,
yeah.
and I
We
cried.
still them boys.
It was just fun because they don't get to play that often,
Mhm.
and I talked the most trash to Cowboys fans out of any fan
Mhm.
base ever.
You've
So-
been waiting for this since 2019.
Yeah, since we went to the game.
Since we went to that game.
OC, let's be real. Aren't the Cowboy fans like the most annoying fans like on the planet?
Um,
No. Philadelphia Eagle fans are the most annoying fans.
They're up there.
Maybe
on the
because
face
I
of the
don't.
They're
planet.
up there.
Maybe because I don't interact with as many Eagle fans.
We don't
but-
see it as much.
It's
Yeah.
honestly, dude. It's Cowboys on steroids.
The Cowboy
Yeah,
fans are
but-
bad.
Yeah. I know how annoying Cowboy fans can be.
Eagle
But
fans,
like
yeah.
the fact that Eagle fans are worse, in my opinion, is saying a lot. But I think that's Philly fans in general. Like the Philadelphia Philly fans are annoying. And I really don't interact with any other fan base, like sports wise, out of Philly. But I'm just gonna bundle you guys all together. Philly fans, you guys are terrible. You're just annoying.
Go ahead, OC. What are you gonna say?
No, just he says Philly. Well, everyone within the division. Right now it's like Bills and Dolphin fans going ahead of social media.
Right, that's true.
Pretty
Yeah.
hilarious. But yeah, I mean, I think I just see way more Cowboys fans than anything, so I just That's I guess I'm biased towards
Because
it.
we're so popular. We're everywhere.
Yeah, there's just like an entitlement factor with them, you know. So it's like
We're America's team.
Yeah,
We are
it's
America's
yeah.
team.
you gotta. I had to let them have it just this one time because they probably won't play again for like another 4 years.
Yeah.
No, yeah, but it's pretty awesome when the Niners get to play them in the playoffs. We beat them in
Every
Dallas or in Santa Clara, which looking at the playoff picture, it kind of looks like we might cross paths, but
I'm low key rooting that it ends up Cowboys and Niners in that.
It's going to be the
title
NFC
game.
title game. It's really cool because we're looking at, like, in 10, 15 years from now, we're going to look at that era. Like when in the 90s, it was Niners Cowboys, and here we are in the 2020s.
it was like the
just
late 80s,
early
and then the
90s,
90s
yeah.
is when like the
rivalry
Cowboys
was formed.
dominant. Yeah,
And then here we are again in the 20s now, and I think the rivalry is being put together again.
oh yeah, it's big time,
Mhm.
and it's awesome right now being on the other end of it that we always beat you guys, which is like I don't mind playing the Cowboys.
You know what?
in the playoffs again.
I'm not even thinking about the Niners. I'm just excited. 2 seeds in our favor right now. Couple of home games. That's all I care about.
Okay, let's talk about that. Let's talk about how.
We're gonna recap this week's, right?
Yeah.
So
Let's start off with the biggest missed call probably all year. Pretty much gifted the Cowboys the number 2 seed.
Whoa.
Pretty much just handed it to them.
Okay, you go ahead and you get out whichever you need to get out, and I'll tell you all the reasons why you're wrong. Go ahead.
Oh, all the reasons why I'm wrong?
Yes.
Okay, for starters, the official was definitely wrong, right?
Okay.
Okay, so the rest of the game, there were some missed calls, right? The tripping penalty was non-existent. I give you that. Okay, 100%.
Hutchinson tripped our guy.
Yeah, non-existent. Don't know what they were calling there.
Mhm.
But then they go ahead and they throw the ball twice in a row, right?
Oh,
They
yeah.
Stop the clock. Okay, they could have killed.
Terrible
That-
play calling.
That last interception, I thought the game was over. It
should have been
I was
over.
even texting Tim. I was like, dude, this game is done. Like
Yeah.
that's it. That's
Mhm.
it. This should be done. But then they get the ball back, and we're just
Yeah.
like, I'm trying to do the math, and I'm like, holy shit, they're gonna have time to go down
Oh
the
yeah,
field.
plenty of time.
Yeah, and then they miss the pass interference called down the middle on Amon-Ra, right on that
Yeah,
last
yeah.
drive. Pretty apparent, right?
Mhm.
And then at the very end, I understand where the Lions were coming from, where they were like, we're trying to confuse them. You know, if one guy goes and
Mhm.
checks in, obviously the guy at the defense is going to know who's the guy who's checking in.
Mhm.
So they try to get 3 guys over there to try to
Mhm.
cause some confusion for the defense. If you're an official at this point of the year at the highest possible level of football there is in the entire world, you cannot get confused, right?
Okay.
I understand that somebody else came up to you or 2 other guys came running up to you that probably shouldn't have, but at the end of the day, it's your job to make the right call, right?
Let me know when you're done.
Yeah, it's your job to make the right call, and for them to strip that play away from them. I mean, that flag came out super late, right? Like, I feel like they were showing everybody celebrating, and then all of a sudden you see the little yellow marker come up.
Well,
Yeah, it was a couple seconds
it comes
after.
out
Yeah.
it comes out late because you don't see it. What it is the far sideline judge. I actually think it was a female. At least in the replay, it looked like it.
Of course.
They come running across the field the entire way towards the white hat, and as they are running like where like the tackle box is going to be at, they just drop the flag.
Mm-hmm.
So
and see. Well, I understand that. Okay, so I understand they missed the call, right? But could you imagine again if this was another playoff game, right? Like, okay, it's a big deal, yes, because they did, and then there's a lot of people betting now, right? A lot of money on the line all across the country. It should be to the point to where a sky judge can see that and be like, no, pick up your flag. That's the wrong call, right? Because if it was a playoff game, this call should be overturned.
are you done?
Yeah.
Okay, 100% the correct call. And the NFL came out a couple of days ago
How is it the correct call?
because the senior vice president of officiating says clearly you have to do 2 things. You have to tell the referee and you have to signal that you are now eligible. 68 never signals he's eligible.
Okay, so if
So
the NFL came out to say
but
that,
hold on, let me finish. I'll let you finish. Let me finish. 70 comes running on the field with his hand up, doing this. That's saying I'm eligible.
No, but he's not. Okay, so they talked about it, okay? Dan Campbell talked about it. He said that he sent those guys out there to fake that they're signaling.
I understand.
You can't have everybody go in and signal. But he wasn't actually the one who actually told him, "Hey, I'm eligible." You have to go up to the official and tell him, "I'm eligible."
But did 68 do this?
Yeah,
no, he does not.
Went up to him and told him, "I'm eligible."
German, you have to do this too.
68 went up to him and told him,
German,
"I'm eligible."
You have to do more than say I'm eligible.
No, you don't. You have to just say
the
I'm
NFL
eligible.
came out and said it.
So why is that officiating crew out of the playoffs then? If
I
it's
don't
not a
know.
mistake?
Ask them. Ask them.
That's the NFL admitting that
the
they made a
NFL
mistake.
came out and said it's always been in the rules. You have to signal with a swipe across your stomach or whatever that you are eligible.
Okay, so
68 never does that.
If the officials are right, then why? But why ban
right
those
after
officials?
Then right after, they put all over the stadium. The referee says 70 is eligible. Not once were the Lions like, "Hey, 70 is not the guy that we want eligible." Did they?
Okay, so then
did
why,
they say that?
So then why would the Lions send number 68 to go check in? Because there's videos of Jared Goff actually
I understand that.
telling 68, Hey,
yeah, go tell him.
Mm-hmm.
But he doesn't clearly do it the way he's supposed to do it. What the referee sees, there's actually another play earlier in the game when 70 comes running on the field with his hand up in the air, swiping, runs straight to the ref. Ref wasn't looking. He taps the ref, does this. The ref walks over defense, says 70 is eligible.
The way
he's never looking at 68. He's looking at 70 run on the field doing this.
The way I see it, Drew, like I said, I understand he probably shouldn't have done that. There's a lot of confusion.
Yeah.
But I think at this point right now, it's Cowboy fans versus everybody else, and everybody knows what the right call is.
Yeah, the right call is what the call was. The NFL came out and said
then
it.
Then why is everybody else saying that it's
because everyone wants the Cowboys to lose?
That's not the deal. I mean, it is. It's honestly it's the wrong call. Had it been any other team, it would probably get the same reaction. Probably not to this extent.
No, you're right, but it's not the wrong call. Don't sit there and say it's the wrong call when the NFL said it's the right call.
What do you think, OC?
I think there's audio from the referee because almost every single referee is mic'd up. We've seen this on Hard Knocks the last month that Miami's been on. But the NFL will never release that audio because I think they know that he checked in and they don't want to be wrong. So they're just going to be like, well, he didn't fully signal.
So that's the thing is like
there's a million cameras.
There's all kinds of cameras. You can see him turn his head towards 68. 70 is behind him. But it looks to me like he's looking at number 68 and shakes his head like this. And then runs to the defense and then does this signal and says whatever number is eligible. It felt like
he acknowledged 70 was eligible and then like he kind of like looked away and then just kind of walked towards the line of scrimmage and I'm like
he gave him a glance.
Like he'd never really looked at him, but he kind of looked at him and just kind of like walked away and I'm like, does he know that he's eligible? Cuz both of them walked up to him. But like Drew said, you do have to signal.
You have to.
Because
68 never signals.
I see it every week. They have clips of Christian Wilkins from the Dolphins, and they literally have like a 15-second clip of him yelling at the ref, "I'm eligible, ref, ref, ref." And he like signals just on PATs alone. Like he's always signaling that he's eligible. So I can see where Drew says that he didn't.
You watch the clip also. I mean, granted, you can't change it. The way that the Cowboys play their defense on that, they put a linebacker on 70. Linebacker stands up to block, and our linebacker just like staring at him like, are you going to run a route or what are you going to do?
No, yeah. So I do agree that he shouldn't have gone in and say, hey, I'm eligible, number 70. But the ref can't be confused in that situation, right?
He's not confused if 68 doesn't properly say he's eligible.
He's confused because he's thinking 70 is eligible when he should have said 68. 68 was the one that actually went up to him and verbally checked in.
Okay, but you need to do more than verbal.
All the way over there to him.
You need to make it more than verbal. That's how do you? Maybe he's not confused at all. Maybe he's saying, "Well, you didn't swipe your chest. He's swiping his chest, screaming at me."
But it's got to be the verbal. Hey, I'm the one that's checking in.
But it's not German. That's what I'm trying to tell you, and you're just ignoring that.
No, I know. But it's
German.
not.
OC just said it right now.
But you got to verbally say it. You can't just raise your hand up and swipe and say, "Hey, I'm eligible."
What if he did?
But did he?
I don't know. They asked 68 in the locker room, did you tell the referee you were eligible? And he said he danced around it. I'm not going to say you exactly what it was, but they asked him yes or no, and he didn't answer the question. So regardless, we don't even know what 68 said. I'm assuming he said I'm eligible.
That's what I'm
NFL
saying.
came out, I think it was yesterday, and said you gotta tell the referee and you gotta swipe. He doesn't swipe.
Okay,
I see one guy swiping.
Okay, so then if it's the right call, then that's my question is then why take that officiating crew out of the playoffs? Was it the other calls that they missed?
Well, they took the crew out the playoffs before they came out with this video. So there's probably a more of an image thing.
They retract that punishment for them then?
I don't know. This crew is already it was already asked. This is the crew that had the Packers Chiefs game.
Right.
Yeah, it's the crew that threw
the pass
12
interference
penalties on the Eagle or on the Dolphins on that Sunday night game, and only one penalty against the Eagles.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not going to say that this. I'm not going to say this crew is good, but I'm not going to say that is the reason why. I think the reason why they are no longer officiating in the playoffs is probably because there's just too much shit going on, and this looks terrible. Even though that in reality it was done correctly.
There's too many game decision calls that they're making.
They're making and or missing.
It seems like every week we have to go through this. Like somebody gets screwed over, and what they're trying to avoid is it happening in the playoffs and it costing somebody their season. Potentially, they just cost the Lions a second playoff home game.
100%.
And then they would have been the 2 seed, right?
Yeah. They would have taken. Then they had the opportunity to get the 1 seed.
Let's dive deeper into that though. The Lions still had 2 other opportunities to correct this
regardless,
mistake.
Right?
So
they could have gone.
So
to overtime.
what you're saying is yes, they could have costed the Lions the 2 seed, but in reality, the Lions cost themselves the 2 seed
because they could have kicked it and gone overtime.
They went for it again, and the Cowboys gifted them with an offside penalty, and then they could have kicked it again. And then Jared Goff misses the throw.
Right.
So I see what you're saying. The refs interfered and they cost them it only because that we saw them score that first try. But you had 2 other opportunities. I wouldn't sit there and say the refs blew it for the Lions.
Right.
Or the refs costing it for the Lions because they had opportunities to fix it themselves and they didn't.
I agree. Because at the end of it, I was just like, dude, take the field goal.
Just kick
the
ball.
extra point. Take the extra point.
But that's not how Dan Campbell works. We've seen that all year.
Yeah, right. He likes to go for it no matter what.
He's go big or go home.
Hey, the Cowboys finally benefited from a call from.
Finally,
according to Drew, they never get any kind of call.
Dude, so it's been 10 games.
Like Cowboy fans,
it's been 10 games since Micah Parsons has had a holding call.
Always against us.
Tell me now, Micah Parsons getting tackled. He's getting mugged out there. Not one call his way.
There's holding every play. I
doubt
the officials are sitting there. I
understand the little ticky tack, holding the shoulder under the pads underneath. But dude, just straight fucking 2 guys with a chokehold on Micah Parsons. That's a little blatant there.
I doubt that the NFL is meeting up and saying like, "Hey, we're not calling anything for Micah."
You're right. They're just terrible. But by now you had to have seen how bad you are.
I do admit that just all around the officiating has just been trashed the entire year.
We've been talking about that for the last 2
all
months.
Season, this has been the season where it's just like
it's
been the preface and the face of it all season long. It's just every week somebody gets a terrible call, and it potentially costs somebody a game. Right.
And what's crazy. It's like now that the gambling is like more involved this year, right?
And it's more amplified because people are, like you said, are putting wagers on this stuff, and now people are like, "Are you serious? Like that just cost me like something, that I put down this week,
Right.
So it gets amplified even more, especially on social media when everyone starts clipping. You start seeing people digging for referees, like, "Oh, they went to school near Philadelphia, so they're an Eagles fan. That's why they got all these calls."
Didn't that come out also this weekend in college where it's like the
ref
was from Michigan or whatever?
At the Rose Bowl, he's from Michigan?
Yeah, they said he grew up rooting for Michigan.
I didn't see anything really in that game where I felt like
No, Bama cost themselves that game, so.
Yeah, when it's 4th and goal and you just like quarterback draw.
Yeah.
Let's go. Let's take a call from the Eagles and just run quarterback draw. Yeah, that's
true. I mean, terrible play call. I wouldn't have done that. It was there. I mean, he got tripped up by his own lineman.
It was the smallest of margins. He could have squeezed in through it.
Well,
right?
I mean, I'm talking
ball
about
in the air.
if you look to the left just a little bit, you follow that guard that pulled. It's wide open.
But still, put the ball in the
There's a
air.
bunch of decisions. You were up a touchdown in
Yeah.
that fourth quarter. You could have put the
True.
game away like 2 drives before
True.
that.
Right.
You Michigan converted a 4th and 2 on the drive to tie the
Oh,
game
yeah.
to go to overtime.
Right.
You know, so credit to them. Like,
No, big time game.
Yeah.
You know, this next week is going to be awesome. Let's go ahead. Let's talk about Lamar and how he pretty much just locked up the MVP. Right? He's not playing this weekend. It's it in the bag for him.
Yeah.
he's like minus 1,000 in
Yeah.
Vegas, or
Yeah.
10,000 right now in Vegas to win it.
And like you guys said, it pretty much came down to that Niners
That
versus Ravens
That
game.
Christmas day or Christmas night game.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. And then
There was actually a guy on Twitter that the week before that game, or 2 weeks before, he had a ticket for Brock Purdy winning the MVP. It was like, he was gonna make like $150,000 off of it. He sold it to somebody else.
no.
So
For
that
how
guy
much?
he sold it for like, I think the ticket value was like 150, but he came up like some guy bought it off him for like 100 or something.
No.
Got
Wow.
the deal of a lifetime.
No
Wow.
shit, dude.
How did he know?
he just? Yeah, he knew.
He
It's
went.
just-
He went to college with Brock Purdy.
It's just for the Niners, dude. Like I said, when AFC teams come to visit
Maybe
the
he
Niners,
watched our
it's just-
podcast and he
Yeah,
heard
maybe
you.
he saw
knew.
German.
He was like, you
I
know
should
what?
listen to German. I'm
This
selling
guy's
this
got
ticket.
something.
that
This
guy
guy's
German.
got
The
something on
G and
Niners.
D.O.G. He's onto something.
But yeah, I mean, he's pretty much got that locked down. Other than that, maybe offensive player of the year. Is that kind of up in the air?
No,
or is that locked into
Tyreek?
Tyreek
C-Mac, right?
or C-Mac?
Yeah, I don't think Tyreek.
It's not. It's
Tyreek's
not.
completely out.
There's not an AFC and NFC one.
Yeah, I know.
It's just.
I think it's just one.
It's just one.
It's just one now. I
Okay.
think before it used to be the
It used
AFC,
to be right.
NFC.
You
Yeah.
just have multiple.
This ain't baseball, Drew. We don't.
We don't
split
just
the-
hand out awards like nothing,
Yeah.
dude.
You get
Yeah.
an award. You get an
Yeah, there's
award.
2 MVPs in baseball.
Defensive player of the year?
Well, I mean,
That's Garrett.
Yeah.
Miles Garrett.
He's the odds-on favorite right
Mhm.
now.
He's probably got it locked in too,
Mhm.
right? Yeah. Let's talk about the possibility of Joe Flacco rolling into Baltimore
Dude.
and possibly beating them
So we were talking about this
In
at
the
work
playoffs.
in
today.
the playoff game.
Joe Flacco is one of the greatest Baltimore Raven quarterbacks of all time.
Yeah, 100%.
And
who else is better than him?
he has an opportunity to be
Trent
one of the
Dilfer.
greatest Cleveland Browns quarterback of all time.
That's true.
if he beats
That
the
is true.
Ravens in the playoffs and somehow either
Whoa.
can go to the
Leads them to
AFC,
the AFC
championship or even the Super Bowl, he is by far the greatest Cleveland Browns quarterback of all
You
time.
cannot disrespect Bernie Kosar like that. Or
Dude.
Derek Anderson, Kelly
did-
Holcomb.
Didn't he already pass? Who did
The
he-
fact that I don't know any of those
Yeah.
names is already
Sorry,
disrespect
that's
enough.
a little football savant.
He passed fucking Johnny Manziel on like touchdown throws already or something
All right,
like that.
that
Didn't
like
Johnny
6
Manziel
games.
have like 4?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What, for
Like 4 total touchdown passes.
He
Like,
might
he
have
didn't
had-
even play a whole year with them.
yeah, what, 4 total touchdowns?
Something like that.
That's
I
more than the hours he put
Yeah.
in on the iPad watching films.
don't- yeah, you got him there.
No, dude, good for Joe Flacco. I that's the team out the AFC I'm going to be rooting for.
Comeback player of the year?
Yeah. No, he's not going to win it, which is
Because
pretty.
of
that,
Lamar.
it's yeah. Any other year, dude, if someone didn't die last year and come back to life,
his heart legit didn't stop.
Dude, look, Joe Flacco is literally just chilling on his couch
Yeah.
for the first 2
He's
months of
waiting
the
for
season.
a
yeah, but
phone
was
call.
he breathing while he was on the couch? Well, DeMar wasn't breathing on the field.
Brutal, dude.
It sucks because I wish Joe Flacco would win the award, but he's not going to. Yeah, he's not going to.
What's a possibility of them possibly going to the Super Bowl? Do you guys think it's pretty high? I mean, looking at the way they've been playing and
When
looking
you,
at the other AFC
It,
teams,
it depends on the seating, in my opinion.
I think the AFC is a toss up because Baltimore, like I know they've been dominant.
it's like Baltimore and then everybody else at
But
this point.
let me tell you, I think Lamar's only 1-3 in the playoffs, like in his career.
That's another thing.
Because his MVP season, he had everything laid out for him, and here comes Tennessee, and they blew him out of the water in Baltimore.
in the first round. In the second round.
Second,
it was
'cause they had a bye.
Baltimore's first game. Right,
Yeah.
right.
So it's like, I've seen this. Like, Lamar has shrunk in the playoffs before.
Especially against a historic defense like Cleveland.
It's like, those divisional games, it's hard to beat a team twice, right? And the Browns went into Baltimore earlier this year and beat them.
Right.
So it's not out of the realm of possibility. And they didn't even have Joe Flacco playing that game. Or
No, it was Deshaun Watson got hurt that game.
It was Thompson Robinson, was it?
No, Deshaun Watson started the game, but he left with a concussion.
Oh, he got hurt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
So it was P.J. Walker
P.J. Walker came in for him. And it was a close game, too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the Browns, like, making it wouldn't surprise me. Like, if someone said it took, like, would you take the Browns over the way they're playing? Yeah.
I would. It wouldn't surprise me.
And the history that Baltimore has had with Lamar in the playoffs the last 4 or 5 years.
And that's my thing is, like, if I'm the Niners looking at the other side, I mean, I know you got to take care of business in the NFC, but if you look at the other side, the only team that scares me playing them again is Baltimore, right?
So nobody in the NFC scares you as a Niners fan?
Maybe the Rams. Just
The divisional?
Just because it's divisional, it's interdivisional. I mean, I'm not scared of the Eagles. I mean,
No one's scared of the Eagles.
I mean, you saw what we did to the Cowboys earlier this year.
What about the Lions?
I mean, the Lions are up and down, man.
Depends.
Them too. Their defense is leaky, man. And
They put up a bigger fight than I thought they would in Dallas.
and that's
They kind of impressed me in Dallas.
and that's the thing. Like watching the game, I was even texting Tim, which is like, how is Dallas not up 24-3 at halftime?
Two turnovers. Two major turnovers.
Yeah, their turnovers, and then there's just like Dallas just relying on Dak and CD to make a play. When it's just like, dude, let's run the ball. Let's get Cooks involved.
I think
Let's
about
get Ferguson
that.
Can't run the ball.
I think about
You
that.
saw the way they tried to run the ball. It's terrible.
They had some good runs, but I think the thing is like they get impatient too fast, where they should get away from the run too fast.
I was thinking about that 93-yard touchdown play where the dude just
Fell?
Was it Barnes? Barnes
he just like slipped or whatever.
Like did he slip or was he just scared to get a roughing the passer call? Because he literally tried to like shoulder check him and
then just moved,
kind of moved out of the way.
And he could have had the safety.
If it's not for that touchdown,
but he could have honestly hit him in the head, and it could have been called like a helmet to helmet.
Yeah. But that kind of gave Dallas life right there. I felt like, and
it put him back in the game.
Yeah.
For sure. Yeah.
Because the drive before they were marching, then Dak throws an interception.
The opening drive, right?
Yeah, and then the touchdown, and then we drive again, and then CD fumbles for
in the back
a
of the
touchback.
end zone.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. What do you guys think about the touchback rule on a fumble?
That one sucks. That rule sucks.
Here's my suggestion, because everyone's like kind of over it, especially if your team's going in. It could be like a game-changing play.
Uh-huh.
Like you scoring, right, gets you back in the game or seals up a win for you.
Uh-huh.
How about if you fumble, no matter where you're at, the ball goes back to the 20, and you just start from there.
Kind of like a touchback, but you keep the ball.
You keep the ball.
From your 20?
No,
or
they're
the
20.
red zone 20.
The red zone 20.
I don't like that either, because then you still have the possibility of scoring. I like the rule the way it is.
Here's the thing.
I know it's a big punishment.
It sucks when you're on the other end of it.
Then don't fumble the fucking ball.
Yeah.
Okay, when you're casually going to the sideline at the 45-yard line, you lose the ball, it goes out of bounds. How come the other team doesn't get the ball?
It's
the same thing.
But
so then, how about you fumble, you go back to the 40?
I would be more on board of it going back to your own 20.
I think it should just go where you had possession last, just like it does on the sideline.
No, I don't think you reward that.
If you're at the 20 and you catch just a little slant route and you run all the way to the other pylon, you make a man miss and you dive and you lose the ball and it goes out of bounds just past the pylon like it did with
then
CD.
Go back to the 20.
What? But again, you don't punish them for losing the ball in the middle of the field. So why are you punishing them just because it's a touchdown?
That's true.
That's
what I'm saying. Put it back to the 20.
No, but that you're punishing them again.
But you still get to keep the ball inside the red zone.
Okay, yes, I guess that's better than what it currently is, but still, I don't think you should punish someone because he's making a move for the end zone.
I just think it sucks, especially when, like, say, like for Dallas, for instance, you're thinking you're about to score.
Yeah.
CD fumbles, and then you're like, wow, we just gave up a whole possession. There goes 7 points.
No, I agree. I just think that he had possession 5 yards before the goal line. He runs towards the goal line. He makes the move. If you do that in the middle of the field, they don't do anything other than, hey, where did you have possession last? That's where the ball goes.
Well, yeah, that's one that's been brought up.
In the middle of the field, it goes to where it went out of bounds.
But it can't go forward.
No.
Yeah, you can't.
So
Fumble
it's
You can't
where
fumble forward.
you had possession last.
Or if you fumbled it out of bounds, right?
Yes, but if you fumble it out of bounds, typically it's going to be going forward, right?
Yeah, it goes backwards.
I mean, I
sometimes.
guess it
Yeah.
can go backwards.
Yeah.
But regardless, I mean, for the most part, it's where you had possession last.
Where the actual player had possession.
Yes.
Okay, I'm thinking you're talking about how we
no,
had
no.
possession. See, that doesn't make any sense because if you fumble and then it goes out of the end zone, then you get the ball at the 1. That's not. I don't think that's not enough of a punishment
But why are we punishing them?
because you fumbled.
Okay, but
I
you
think-
don't. But my counter argument to that is you don't punish them
I
when they
there's-
fumble in the middle of the
there's
field.
so many rules in football now that benefit the offense to where I think I like the fact that there's a rule that does benefit the defense, and then you come up with a stop if they fumble out of the back of the end zone. I like that. I like that it sucks for the offense, but it's awesome for the defense, and I think we need to keep that rule. I think it's a rule that stays.
I don't know.
I'd get rid of it.
It'll probably come up to vote, but I'm interested to see what the owners think.
Yeah, I mean,
Just don't ask David Tepper because he might throw a drink at you.
that's what I would say. And only have to pay like what $30,000.
Yeah, that's kinda crazy.
No, it was $300,000.
$300,000
But to him,
fine.
that's
But that's
probably like
what? That's-
$2.
That's $100
He's
to
got
us.
that in his shoes somewhere.
Yeah,
That's how much he spends on a night out or something like that.
Yeah.
it's probably how much his drink costs.
Yeah, dude. I mean, if that's all they're gonna charge him, I'm like, okay.
So, are we good on the recaps?
Sir, was
You
there
want-
anything else that big that happened?
That was huge. I mean, big time stories. The Eagles losing again to the Cardinals.
Yeah,
Right.
No, well, that's not
Falling apart.
surprising. Shocker. Thanks, though. Appreciate that. Cowboys
it
alive for the 2 seed?
It locked up the number 1 seed for the Niners.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Niners
now they get to sit everybody
benefit
this
from
week.
it. The Cowboys benefit from this.
Every-
I benefit from this because I'm playing this week against McCaffrey in the championship round of fantasy.
Oh, and another fantasy
And
league.
You're in a
McCaff-
league that's still playing this late?
Yeah, dude, it's pretty annoying. I got pretty upset with the commissioner.
There's another league too that I'm in that they're doing like the
The
arrogant-
2 week?
the 2 week.
Yeah,
And
that's
I don't-
what we're
I
in
don't
right
like
now.
it.
That's
Yeah.
why we're playing the championship game right now.
Everybody's sitting this week. Like
Yeah,
all the
that's
big time
what-
players.
I mean, I
would-
wish I would have had that. I made 2 championship finals. I lost both.
You lost both?
I wish
Oh.
I would have had 2 weeks to prepare.
I made 2 championship finals. I won one last week and about to win the next one because
I'm
his
two
number
for
1
two.
player is going to be sitting out.
See,
2 for
that-
2, yeah.
Yeah.
Fuck you.
Oh, it must be nice.
Yeah, it is nice.
I'm about to be 2
So
for
when do I
3.
get my check?
Hey, remember, get this guy out of the
It's
league
in the
next
mail.
year.
Yeah, hey.
If anyone out there wants to join,
If anybody
We're
out
looking
there
for
wants to
one.
join and you win their league, they're just gonna kick you out because
If
they're
you-
sore ass losers.
If you win our league in the first year, you're getting kicked out.
yeah,
You got
they don't know how to take. They don't know how to take. an L.
You got to put in some grind and work for a couple of years, and then you can win the league, and we'll let
Yeah.
you stay.
Drew's in this grinding phase right now. He's still
No, I won this
taking
league.
it to the chin.
I
right
won
now.
this league. It was all right. But then OC won the year after. The very next day, he was at my front door, give me that trophy.
Yeah, and they
Just-
still get
I
they
was just
still get to
fucking-
stay in the league.
I was chilling on the couch, and OC's like, "Hey,
I had
I'm here. Bring me my trophy."
I had to put in a year's worth of work for that trophy. All right, German.
Yeah, dude.
I didn't get to win it my first year like you.
Came in. I won it the first
He
year,
was
dude.
OC was up late watching game film. I gotta
dude.
win this
Blew a
next
load in
year.
everybody's face and just won the game, dude.
Oh
Just
god.
won the whole thing.
Anyway,
So-
we're looking for one. If you guys
So-
want to play, just hit me in the DMs.
So then, yeah, we got what? It's already like 10 teams or something that their quarterbacks are sitting out. Like Lamar sitting out,
Lamar sitting out.
Stafford sitting out,
Purdy sitting out.
Purdy sitting
Joe
out.
Flacco sitting out.
Joe Flacco.
Is Joe Flacco sitting
Yeah,
out?
Joe
Yeah.
Flacco's not playing.
Yeah, there you
Oh,
go.
They
yeah,
can't.
going
They
to the
can't
Bengals.
improve and they can't get worse.
Yeah.
Everybody's
what just
Zach
changes is
Wilson's
there
sitting out.
because he wants to. Or?
because the mom said no, don't play.
Yeah. Let's talk about next week and the big game at the end. That's definitely probably the most important one.
let's
probably.
talk. Yeah, well, let's lead up to it. So we got crucial games on Saturday because you got
Yes.
teams that are fighting for
Well, the Steelers and Ravens. The Ravens look like they're going to sit everybody,
yeah.
and the Steelers have a chance,
Which hurts
the
the
playoffs.
Bills.
Yes.
which potentially hurts the Bills.
Which hurts the
A
Bills.
Steelers win plus a Jags win
And a Bills loss.
and a Bills loss keeps the Bills out.
Yeah.
They go from the
After-
potentially the
after
2
all
seed,
that work. Yeah.
potentially the 2 seed to being the first team out.
Yeah.
There's some Game of Thrones shit.
Yeah.
That's wild.
It's kind of it's entertaining, dude. I'm gonna have my popcorn ready for me this weekend.
and
the
this-
the Texans and the Colts. That's another big one.
Win and go
you're
home.
in, and if the Jags lose, it can be potentially the division champ.
Yeah.
I would say aside from week 1 every year, the last week of the season, it's literally a toss-up almost every single game because you got guys sitting, you got guys playing for incentives, you got guys that are checked out, so you don't really know who's going to show up, right?
Right.
Like I'm sitting here thinking about the Jaguars potentially clinching with the win, right? But then I see,
you never know.
but then I sit there and watch Mike Vrabel's press conference, and he's pissed off saying, "No, like you think I want to lose? No, we're playing to win every week." So I feel like they might just be playing to screw over the Jaguars.
This is their This is their Super Bowl.
Because they could potentially keep the Jaguars out of the playoffs.
And then after a year like this, where you have at the end nothing like to really play for, like you kind of play more fast and loose, right? Because in the Eagles, they have, or not the Eagles, the Jaguars, they have all the pressure on them, right?
Yeah, all the pressure's on them.
When you're playing loose, when you're playing like fuck it,
It happened to
It's backyard football.
Yeah.
Hey, it happened to him 2 years ago. Remember, Jags needed a win to get in against the Colts at home.
Yep.
And the Colts went into the Colts were like maybe 3-13.
Yep.
And beat them in Jacksonville and kept them out of the playoffs.
I remember that.
Jesus.
So it happens. Like you're gonna see wild stuff this weekend.
That if I'm picking an upset, this is my upset.
Which one?
I'm going with Tennessee.
I am too. That's why I talked about it because I feel like Vrabel's like so pissed off that his guys are gonna be ready to go.
And then I don't think the Jags deserve it.
No.
They fumbled
No.
the last
Yeah.
month of the season. They've been tanking.
They've fallen apart.
Trevor Lawrence been hurt. He's been beat up.
He's got some injuries.
I'm not going to sit here and say that Trevor Lawrence, healthy, would be 10 times better than what he is because I don't think Trevor Lawrence has been, first overall pick worthy.
He hasn't proven himself.
Yeah. So, but I will give them the slight benefit of the doubt. I'm still sticking with the Jags.
All 3 Florida teams could clinch their division or lose it on Sunday. The Bucs can
I
clinch.
think the Bucks are the of those 3 teams. They're the one team that I think they're going to do their job.
They might, or
the Bucks.
Yeah,
They
they have
do-
the
It
Panthers.
looks that way. I think. Yeah.
They're trending upwards instead of downwards.
And then plus Carolina's a dumpster fire.
They are trending
they want
downwards.
that season to be over.
Yes.
Yeah.
But they have nothing to play for. Here's the thing: they don't have a first round pick. So what if they're just?
But
hey,
even if they were
I think
going
that makes
balls
it
out,
worse.
if they were going balls out, it's
who did
still
they
not
beat?
good enough.
They beat the Falcons a couple weeks ago. They're like
Yeah.
they were like 1-12 or something.
Something
going
like
into-
that. Yeah.
Yeah. The Panthers are not good. They don't have good players.
You're
They don't
right.
have good coaching. No way in my mind do I think that they could, like we were just talking about with Vrabel and the Titans, that they're going to play up because they
they
have
don't
something
have-
to play
they
for.
don't have that
they're
same-
They're not at that level.
They don't have that same moxie that Tennessee has.
Yeah.
That same
All
chip on their shoulder.
4,000 fans that go to the game aren't going to make it rowdy for Baker where he can't be able to run
those
the
tickets
offense.
have got to be like $3,
Dude.
Yeah.
They're giving, hey, buy a hot dog and you get a free ticket.
Yeah. At this point,
I was gonna say, and then you got games like the Bears who already locked up the first pick,
But they can be spoilers.
They could, and
They
then
can be
Justin
spoilers.
Fields decides to mouth off in his press conference today.
What did he say?
He says, "Yeah, of course, I expect a loud crowd. These all people in Green Bay have nothing else to do besides watch football." Damn,
He's
Nice.
not wrong.
I'm like,
Nice.
yeah, there's pretty. Yeah, I don't think there's because it's not a major city, so
No, it's not.
it's pretty small. But I'm like, bro, are you really gonna give them bulletin board material? And they need to win to get in, right? Or did
No,
clinch?
they do not need to
but
win
they're
to get
playing
in, but
for
they have
the
not
6th
clinched.
seed, right?
Who,
Yes.
the Packers?
Yeah. So the Packers, if they lose and Seattle wins, then the Seattle's in, the Packers are out. They need to win to stay in. They can all lose if Seattle and the Saints lose, then they're still in. But they do need to win this game, so they will be playing everyone.
I'm looking at all the incentives right now.
Did we talk about Russell Wilson at all? And
No, we haven't. We have not. We have not ridden with that topic yet.
do you guys want to talk about that at all? Or just
Who
kinda-
cares? Who cares? You got turmoil. You're just trying to move on. Just figure it out. Maybe they'll get Penix.
That's how bad the situation is there. That you told them, hey, we're not going to play you anymore because we don't need you getting injured.
it's kind of the same Derek Carr
Yeah.
treatment, right? As
Yeah,
last
kinda,
year.
yeah.
Kind of similar.
Kinda.
Yeah. Looks like he's out. He's on his way out. Any other big games? I mean, the Niner Rams, both teams are sitting everybody. Both teams are pretty much locked in.
And you know what's interesting about that game? The Rams can either be the 6 or the 7, but I don't think they care what they are.
They're on the road either way.
Yeah.
I think, I mean, in the NFC East, both of those games are big games because the 2 seed or the 5 seed is still alive for both the Cowboys and the Eagles. Although I did see, don't know how true it is, that there's reporters saying that the Eagles are considering sitting people.
Maybe the Eagles don't mind being on the road.
But still,
I don't think they have a choice.
Why wouldn't you?
Yeah, because regardless, even if Dallas wins.
No, but I don't like. I think like they're gonna look at the scoreboard and realize like if Dallas is winning, they're like, well, what are we playing
what's the
for?
point?
We're
Yeah.
already out because that's what happens a lot of times.
But you can't go into that game thinking that, right?
You think both teams start off with their starters?
Yeah, they're gonna
Dallas
start.
and then
Dallas needs to win this game.
Well, yeah, they want the number 2 seed.
This is playoffs
Yeah.
for Dallas.
Yeah.
So they're going to do everything in their power to destroy the Commanders.
Mhm.
I was listening earlier and how they said this is the Commanders' first time starting a quarterback all the way through.
Oh,
17
Sam Howell?
weeks since
Mhm.
Sam Howell since Kirk Cousins.
I could see
Nice.
them
Interesting.
pulling Dak
Like
at the end of the third.
Yeah.
We'll
what,
see.
what if they're losing this game? They're going to play till the end, right?
Oh, Dak will play until the very end if they're losing.
Yeah.
The Cowboys, I mean, they went 8-0 at home this year. They won every single game at home. They've won 15 straight games at home. They've been complete dog shit on the road. They need that home
so
field
does
advantage.
this game scare you then since they're on the road?
No, because it's the Commanders. I mean, they've won on the road. They beat bad teams on the road. It's going on the road against decent teams and against good teams that they were completely terrible at.
Okay. It's
But I would not
125,
concede. I would not concede. They're both at 125. I would not concede if I was the Eagles. Why would you do that?
How many games are at 125? It looks like a good bunch of them. 6? 7.
We've got Bears, Packers, Cowboys, Commanders, Raiders,
1, 2, 3, 4,
Broncos,
5, 6,
Eagles, Giants, Seahawks, Cardinals, Rams, Niners. What is that? 8, 6,
7?
7?
Yeah.
Chargers, Chiefs. They did put the best game for Sunday night, though. Bravo to them.
As soon as
As soon as the
soon as-
Dolphins lost,
well, yeah, but no. As soon as the Bills won too, I was like, this is going to be
it's
for the
matchup.
division. They're going to put this on Sunday night.
Well, we had talked about leading up to this, like, what was like 2 or 3 weeks ago? Or even think like a whole month ago we were talking about
And
it.
I
Like,
told
it
you
could be
guys,
for the division.
I go, Miami
Yeah.
needs to win these next 4 to keep themselves away from this final game.
And they lost
But
the
I
Ravens.
said I don't think so because Miami's going to slip up at least once, and the last game of the season it's going to come down to the division.
Mhm.
And here we are, week
It-
18.
Man, it just, to me, the Bills have had Miami's number for the past couple years.
Easily,
Yeah. And
It's
it
crazy, dude. The Bills can go 10-7 this year and be one of the best teams
in the
to
playoffs.
not make the playoffs
Oh,
if they lose
if
this
they
game.
lose.
Yes. One of the best teams in like the last 10 years to not make the playoffs.
If it's just some of those early games, if Josh Allen didn't turn the ball over, we'd be having a different conversation.
Well, ever since they switched over to the OC, right?
Right. It's been completely different.
Yeah.
And they've been running the ball a lot better. I mean,
Mhm.
Cooks have probably come out as one of the best offensive weapons in the entire league right now. I mean, if they win, they win the division. Are you
They
kind of
host.
they host? Are you kind of scared to play the Bills? I mean, if you look at all the other
No, if
AFC
Miami
teams,
I think if Miami loses, they automatically go to the 6 and they go to Kansas City the first week.
which for Miami, I don't think scares me.
It's not the worst matchup.
you would
but
have to go to Kansas City, then Buffalo right after.
They would have to go
Oh.
Kansas City, Buffalo, Baltimore if they want to make
Oh,
the Super Bowl. So that's how
Oh,
big this
man.
game is
It's a tough road.
because for one, they haven't won the division since 2008, 2009, right? And they haven't had a home playoff game since I think that was the last time too in 2009. So this is a massive deal for them, you know? And they haven't been a 12-win team in like 30 plus years.
Right.
Haven't been a 2 seed since like 95. So it's like everything is laid out there for them to take it. But now I start thinking about, you know, you start automatically the what ifs. That damn Tennessee game where they gave up 2 touchdowns with 2.5 minutes.
Mr.
left.
Mayo.
Right. When they let Mr. Mayonnaise come up and win them.
But
I
you
mean-
know what? It like I can't complain because they still have the division up for grabs.
Well, that's what I was gonna say. It's okay. It does seem like there is a lot on the line for this game, but at it's really not a playoff game for them because they can still lose and then their season still stays alive.
Yeah, they're still in.
And
no
if you
matter
go to
what.
Kansas City, does that scare you?
No,
that
because
much?
I just witnessed the Raiders go in there on Christmas Day and beat them.
And beat them, right?
But with like 200 yards of offense.
Yeah, with the guy that
with
did,
2 touchdowns on 2 defensive touchdowns.
Yeah, with the guy that didn't throw a pass or didn't complete a pass the last 3 quarters of the game.
Right, and without their best running back.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, I don't think it's the end of the world if they lose. I mean,
It's not the route you want to take.
It's
though.
not the route
No.
you want to take. It's not ideal, but I mean, they are still playing up. But I think for the Bills, they're playing for a little bit more because it's potentially to keep their season alive.
I think it means more to the Bills,
Yeah.
especially if the Jags and Steelers both win. Then they know, like, win or you're out.
or you're out. Exactly.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah, and given the year that they put together here at the tail end, how many games in a row did they end up winning?
I think they're at
They've won 4 in a row.
Right,
They're
Like,
going
so-
for 5.
Yeah, so to put that together to keep your season alive, and then to have to play them in the playoffs and go to their place in the playoffs, that kind of sucks, right?
Yeah, you don't want to go into.
You don't want to go into Buffalo with
To
this
Orchard
team that
Park.
hot.
Not in January, no, sir.
Oh,
unless you're the Bengals and you go up there in the snow and beat them.
not
but-
with not with the
Yeah.
Bills Mafia just dumping on or jumping on tables that are on fire. I don't know if you guys seen those videos.
Dude, yeah, these
These guys are psychos.
and then you just like run around with fire all over you. Like, do they not teach you stop, drop, and roll in the
That's
first
what I was
grade?
hitting my head. That's what when I saw that
'Cause
video, I was like, stop, drop, and roll.
I remember in the first grade they start telling us what to do if you're on fire. You stop, you drop, you roll. Not Bill's Mafia. You just run around in a circle.
Not Bills
Just keep
Mafia,
going,
baby. Just keep going. They're all stuntmen up there, dude. That's
Oh.
insane.
Any coaches that we think we'll see on the hot seat, or is everyone pretty much in check after this week?
Ooh, I mean,
Bill's the only one, maybe.
maybe Bills. I
think
still
Ron
think
Rivera.
they have another
Yeah.
year. Ron Rivera looks like he's out.
Yeah,
It looks
a
like
good
they're kind of waiting for the year to be over, which is another thing. Which is at the end of the year, if they go ahead and they let go of the entire coaching staff, Eric Bieniemy, he's available to get hired by the Chiefs.
He's
as
been rumored
as a
with
consultant.
He's been rumored with Harbaugh to go to be the leading candidates to go to the Chargers.
to the Chargers. I mean, and Harbaugh's a different story too. I mean, I think there's so many opportunities. He can go to the Chargers. He can
I think he's
technically
gonna
go to the Raiders. You know,
If he wins it, you think he steps away from Michigan?
Yes.
I think he steps away
Because
I think he
you've
steps
done-
away
because
regardless.
You've done everything that I think he does it regardless.
Yeah, I think so too.
He's this is probably the best team he's gonna have, and if you can't do it with this team, you're probably not gonna do it with the upcoming team. It's time to just step
I think
away
at this point, yeah.
after the whole
He
controversy
has
and
that itch
everything.
to go back to the NFL.
Yeah.
He wants to go to the NFL. There's that sibling rivalry there where, like, I have a Super Bowl, but you don't. You know?
Yeah. Then not to mention he failed. Like he lost. The Super
Beat
Bowl.
him in the Super Bowl. Yeah.
You lost to your brother in the Super Bowl. Why don't you go back?
Mike Vrabel?
Nah.
I think you keep him around just because of how the guys respond to him.
I think I was reading his contract expires, so they would have to sign him to a new deal.
I think they will.
I think they will.
I think
they like him.
I think the guys like him. I think he's got control of the locker room.
Yeah,
He
he's
just
a,
has
he's a
had-
player's coach.
He
Yeah.
just hasn't had any luck with the quarterback position.
Yeah, that's
and that
been-
A.J. Brown trade has been huge,
It wasn't his fault.
It
Either.
wasn't his
it was
fault.
the GM.
which
It
was,
kinda-
who the GM is out the door. So
AJ Brown looks like he's a great player. He looks like a cancer though.
Falcons?
In the Eagles locker room.
Yeah,
the way how
yeah.
it's coming out,
Yeah.
like that
Yeah, he looks
that locker room's hostile.
Dude, yeah, it looks like there's a lot of mess going on. It seems like he's the center of attention.
Yeah, it looks that way. Bill Belichick,
Falcons, Arthur Smith.
Arthur Smith, I think is out. I think at the end of the year he's gonna be.
So then that'll be how many teams total that have already booted their coach? Frank Reich, Carolina,
Staley,
Staley,
Raiders, McDaniel.
Daniels.
McDaniels. Who else was it?
That's 3.
You think
The Bears decided to keep
the Bears? They're gonna roll
Eberflus.
with him. I
There's a lot
thought
of Bears
Eberflus was
fans.
on the hot seat.
Yeah, I
but
thought he was too.
I thought Justin Fields was gonna be on the hot seat. It looks like they want him there.
You can sell that pick again.
Yes, yeah.
It looks like they are. It looks like they are.
I would trade it down a couple of spots. I don't know exactly the order, but I'm going after Marvin Harrison Jr. and then I'm drafting an offensive lineman with my second first round pick.
See, the thing is, Drew, is that it makes too much sense for Chicago. I don't think they're gonna do that.
So then
it sounds like the smart thing to do, right? It makes sense.
There's someone between 2 and 5 that needs a quarterback. I'd sell it to the highest bidder, and then I'd take
drop
Marvin
down
Harrison Jr.
Just drop down a few spots.
Yeah, and take Marvin Harrison, and then I'm with I think they're at like the 10th pick, the Bears.
Something like that, yeah.
So and then you just take the best offensive lineman
that you can find.
Yeah, that makes so much sense.
Because Justin Fields, same thing though. He's been up and down. Like he's showed spurts of like he being top tier, amazing quarterback, but then he makes some mistakes where you're just like, ugh.
Yeah, but
which I think he can learn from.
I do. I think he'll learn from. I think he's in a terrible situation, coaching wise, offensive line wise. Yeah. He's been in a terrible situation, receiver wise.
Hey, so currently it goes: Chicago has the 1 pick, Washington has the number 2. Do they stick with Sam Howell?
I think so.
I don't think so.
I think Howell was slinging the shit out the ball all season.
If you're the thing is, it's gonna be the Gardner Minshew treatment. Which is, if you're going to bring in a new regime, they're going to want to bring
their
in
new quarterback.
You're probably right.
New England's at 3.
Same thing. I mean, do you think Belichick stays? You think he leaves?
I think Belichick. I'd like to see him leave.
I would too.
I think if he stays in New England, all he's ever going to hear, because he's not going to win anytime soon in New England, all he's ever going to hear is,
you can't win without Brady.
Tom Brady was the backbone of this team, not you. I think it's time for a fresh start somewhere, and I think he fits the spot perfect for the Chargers.
The Raiders, do you think they hire a new head coach, or do they stick with
I think
Damian?
I think that's where Harbaugh's going.
You don't think they stick with Antonio Pierce?
I think that's the smart thing to do. I think for morale, that'd be a good thing. But I also don't think the players are going to be too upset if Harbaugh comes in.
Yeah, that's true.
Even though their 2 best players, Crosby and Adams, both came out and both acknowledged that they want Pierce.
But I mean,
but I don't think that they realize that Harbaugh could be on the table.
Yeah,
that's different than
hiring Staley or something.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
if it's between Staley and Pierce, 110%, give me Pierce.
But if Harbaugh's there, take Harbaugh.
I take Harbaugh.
Because if you look what he did with that San Francisco team.
Who's the defensive coordinator for the Raiders?
That's a good question. No idea. And
get rid of him and put Pierce there.
I think that's about it, man. What other coach can you say is like kind of on the hot seat or kind of on his way out?
Salah staying for one.
Salah staying for sure.
Hey, shout out Mike Tomlin. Another winning season.
Another one.
Just keeps rattling them off.
I mean, technically, he's still not out of playoff hunt, right?
He's still
he's still alive.
Oh, I think it's a win there, and then a loss with the Jags, and that's it, right?
They need Buffalo to lose.
Oh, okay. So what the Steelers need is Jags to lose and Bills to lose,
right?
And then they're in.
Okay.
I think both are doable. I would really like to see the Steelers win, the Jags win, and then the Bills lose. I kind of want to see the Bills go from maybe 2 seed to out.
I'm not that high on the Steelers. I don't think the Steelers have shown enough.
You're right. I think they'll win this game, though. I don't see anyone playing for the Ravens.
Yeah, possibly.
I see them winning this game.
Mm-hmm. That's a good point. But, I mean, who knows? Maybe the Ravens have super crazy depth and
you never know.
Just murk.
I doubt it, but maybe.
Any other hot topics? You guys want to pick games for this weekend?
Yeah, it's the last week of the season.
Yeah. What game do you want to pick first?
Let's do it Saturdays. Sábados.
Let's. We can also. I'm down to do the entire thing if we just go through it quick.
Okay.
Let's go.
Let's do it.
Rapid fire.
We were making up for last week.
Okay, let's go. Steelers, Ravens.
Steelers.
I'm gonna go Ravens.
Okay.
Texans, Colts.
Texans.
I'm gonna go Texans. Congratulations, Colts. Jaguars, Tennessee.
Jags.
OC.
Tennessee.
I'm gonna go Tennessee.
Okay.
Vikings, Lions.
Vikings.
OC.
Lions.
I'm gonna go Lions. Falcons, Saints.
Saints.
Congratulations, Atlanta. Jets, Patriots.
Fuck it, why not Jets?
Jets.
I'm gonna go Patriots. Panthers, Bucks.
Bucks
on the road.
I'm gonna go Bucks. Browns, Bengals.
Bengals.
The Browns have nothing to play for, right? Bengals.
Correct.
I'm still sticking with Browns. Bears, Packers.
I want to see the Bears win. I think that'd be exciting. So I'm gonna go with the Bears at
Let's see.
Lambeau.
Packers.
I'm gonna go Chicago. I want them to, because I can't stand the Packers. Cowboys, Commanders.
Cowboys.
Cowboys.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Cowboys.
Let's go Commanders.
Broncos, Raiders.
Raiders.
Yeah. No, I'm gonna go with Broncos.
Who's the quarterback for the Broncos?
Um,
John Elway.
What year is it?
Eagles, Giants.
Let's go G-Men. Let's go Giants.
Eagles.
I'm gonna go Eagles. Seahawks, Cardinals.
Seahawks.
Seahawks.
Is Geno Smith playing yet?
Did
he play last week?
He did play last week.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely Seahawks.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Seahawks. Niners, Rams. Both teams.
Tie?
Both teams are sitting.
Tie?
We're gonna get Carson Wentz versus Sam Darnold.
I'm gonna go Carson
Ooh.
Wentz. I think Carson Wentz. Puka Nacua is playing. Cooper Kupp is not playing. So if I'm Carson Wentz, where's Puka? I'm gonna chuck it to you. That's all you got to know.
I'm gonna go Niners. OC.
Niners.
Okay. Chiefs, Chargers.
Chiefs.
Chiefs.
Was Easton Stick still the quarterback?
Yeah, Mahomes is not playing.
I'm still sticking with the Chiefs.
So I'm gonna go with the Chargers.
And then the biggest game of the year to end it all, the regular season finale.
I'm going fins up, baby.
Wow. Well,
I just told you I want the Bills to lose.
Well, yeah, I'm obviously going Miami.
I'm gonna go Bills.
Oh,
I need to go Bills.
You guys should put a bottle on it.
Why?
I don't know.
You're just trying to make up
He's
the
just
loss
like-
to both of us.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
did lose to both of us this year,
I did.
and both of you lost to me in fantasy twice.
Oh, damn. You're
Yeah.
right.
Everyone, thanks for watching.
It's a great outro.
Yeah, one
That's it, man. Let's go ahead. Let's cut it out.
All right, everyone. Thanks for watching. Make sure you smash that like and subscribe button. We'll be back next week. We won't take next week off. Hopefully, German doesn't get more sick. And we'll talk about how the Cowboys are the 2 seed and how the Bills were eliminated from playoffs entirely. Oh, did I just jinx it?
You might have just
I
jinxed
might
it.
have just jinxed
You
it.
might have
Maybe
just
the Bills
jinxed
are the 2 seed now.
Fins down.
Fins down, baby.
All right. We'll see you guys later.
All right, peace.